Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Braxton Rizzuto.
Draw. There goes Braxton.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. The celebration of life for Skip Bertman has been set. Our buddy Doug Thompson is going to be here in about 15 minutes to give us some of the deets on it. I got a text on the show text line from James who said, hey, what happened to Musso? And I said, vacation, because lots of people take vacation during fall camp with a facepalm emoji. And James replied, well, wasn't Moscona off for a couple days within the last week? James, I had appendicitis. I literally had emergency surgery. That's a big difference in taking vacation during fall camp. James. No, we hope Musso's enjoying himself at the beach. And I'm sure he'll come back whenever he sees fit. So now Musso's back on Wednesday. So Braxton and Jordyn have been filling in. We appreciate everybody for pulling Musso's weight while he's out. All right, it's after further review. Tigers are back on the practice field here on Monday. Lane Kiffin met with reporters afterwards. Just some of the newsy housekeeping things. Ed Ogeron was not there today at practice. We reported over at Louisiana Sports.net that Coach O was not at the scrimmage either on Saturday. Lane Kiffin said he wasn't feeling well, so they sent him home. No more information given. We'll see if he'll be out there, if Ed will be out there. I did ask for an update on Damian Shanklin, and if Shanklin had the opportunity to return. Lane, can you play 14? This was, I'm sorry, Brax, play 14 real quick. This was Lane's answer on Damian Shanklin.
I do not have an update on that, and I cannot comment on that.
Okay, so Lane is not wanting generally to give a lot of tidbits on anything related to the roster. I did also ask about the 3 or 4 absent players today, which were Harlan Berry, Malik Blockton, Jordan Ross, and J.D. LaFleur, and got the no comment there as well. They'll all be fine, whatever. So anyway, I asked for you, but we'll see. It'd be a good indicator tomorrow, right? They practice tomorrow evening, They practice Tuesday evening, and we have our customary 2 to 3 segments, periods to go watch. So 12, 15 minutes. So we'll get a chance to see maybe some of those guys will be back out there after what apparently was a really long physical scrimmage, 170 plays, and so maybe some guys just needed a day. So we'll check it tomorrow night. A few things that Lane talked about. The other question that I asked, in addition to all the personnel questions, was one that I asked intentionally open-ended because I don't know if you find this, and this could just be me as someone who spends a giant chunk of my professional life sitting in press conferences, like listening to other people speak. I think sometimes you pick up on tips and tells and leans and things like that when you hear someone speak a lot. And with Lane, I've mentioned this to you before, but a lot of times it doesn't matter what we ask. If there's a message he wants to get across, he's going to get it across. But I also think that he is very sort of introspective. I think it's interesting sometimes when his wheels start spinning and he starts to explain the way he processes things, because he's very clearly a very bright man. He's a great football coach, but he's just very clear, very smart. And so I asked him a very intentionally open-ended question in hopes that maybe we would get one of those answers. And the way I phrased it was, at this point in camp, you're a little past the halfway point in camp, how do you measure what progress your team has made? This is what he said.
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, we really try to look at individual players, where they're at, and then from their groups, and then from their sides of the ball. And then what roles can we start to mold people into? We try to look at not just week 1, but week 3, week 5, week 7. Maybe there's players that aren't projecting to maybe be ready for certain roles, but maybe they will be because they're younger players or struggling to learn. So we're in constant meetings about that and trying always to fit pieces and figure out where somebody can take a few plays off of some situation of someone else.
The way he started the answer had me worried that we were going to get nothing out of that. The way he finished it was exactly what I was hoping for. They are so analytical in nature, the staff, just very clearly. Like Lane has said it, we look at everything. And I believe him. Like, they look at everything. Especially with as much as I've pried around with the player personnel department, trying to get some sense of what they're doing for the potential of the 5-for-5 ruling if it happens. I mean, my goodness, the way that they have broken down and evaluated every possible player that could join the roster if the judge's ruling goes away, it does. They are super detailed. But you heard him say there, like, there may be a player that's not ready now, but what about by like week 3 or week 5? And what if they could give you just some snaps to take pressure off another guy? One of the things that Lane said in the spring that was very revealing to me was when he was asked about the 9-game schedule. But one of the things he talked about was at Ole Miss, they were 20-0 in the non-conference, and a lot of times it benefited them because they would play these games where they'd blow teams out. I'm paraphrasing. They'd play these games, they'd blow teams out, and ultimately guys would play fewer snaps. Because your starters, like let's say 3 games a year, your starters are out at halftime. Well, that's like effectively a game and a half less they're playing. Well, if you play a 9th conference game and you have the Power 4 mandate, well, now you don't have as many built-in body bag games where your starters are out, meaning your starters are going to play more snaps. There's going to be more wear and tear. So there he is saying, where can we find a series here, a set of snaps there, whatever, to take some, that someone can give us some depth to take some of the pressure off of and the snaps off of our starters. So that was fascinating. So we'll continue to watch and see how that continues to learn and grow. Like I don't think there's any doubt. Like Jaden Breaker fits that mold. Like they see something in Breaker where he was going to be a linebacker buried on the depth chart, but they love the skill set. They could play him at edge, and somewhere along the way, at that position where they don't have great depth, maybe that guy can give him 10 snaps a game. But the way they're thinking is, what if those 10 snaps or 7 snaps, whatever it is, end up being the difference between, creating a sack or a pressure that flips the game, or, over the course of 10 games, those 7 snaps or 70 snaps, it's effectively like a starter playing 1 less game. I think that's the way they compute something like that, which is fascinating. Hope that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that really well. A couple other things that I thought were really interesting from Lane. He did talk about the green dot. And, of course, that's the helmet comms, right? So the quarterback has the green dot, so now they can communicate. And this is something he's talked a lot about in spring and now, but he went into more detail about it today.
I believe we're number 1 in the country over green dot time of total offense and passing offense. So I think it's benefited us. I think that speaks a lot to Charlie and his ability to communicate to the quarterback, and then the relationship developed in that and how that all works. It's not just as easy to just give a play. I shouldn't say that. Some people do that. Ours is a lot more in depth of what we do and how we work it, and where the 15 cuts off, 15 seconds, and our ability to get things done fast and in fast so we can still talk to them all the way up to that point. Or if you think about it, if you're a slower team, you don't have very long to talk to until it comes off. So I think it's been a great benefit to our last 2 quarterbacks and how they played.
Think of it this way. So when you talk about the helmet comm, right? The coaches can talk to the quarterback up into 15 seconds before the play clock expires. So you got a 40-second play clock. They can talk to you as you're counting down to when it hits 25, right? So, or 25 seconds in when you're 15 seconds from it expiring. That's when the helmet comm cuts off. When does Lane Kiffin's offense ever take the play clock down to 0? Never. Almost never, unless they're running up the clock. So what he's saying here is Like, they're never challenged by the helmet comm cutting off. Like, they are talking, Charlie White, are talking to the quarterback literally up until the snap because they never take it down that far. It's an incredible advantage. And one more, and this is something that we have talked about almost every day here, and it's the freshman defensive lineman. And I told you in the practice report, the scrimmage notes that I got from Saturday, the two freshmen started, Anderson and Gerald's. And I think for the first time, Lane acknowledged, you could be really excited about those guys, but it is a concern.
Yeah, I do. I mentioned it before, study everything we do. If you study old teams win now. And I just think that's the maturity of the player, especially the fourth to fifth year player, and how they think and what's important to them. And they're used to playing too. They're veterans. Even in the NFL, obviously the fifth year player plays different than the rookie usually. So there's a lot of concern there. And so, how much can we get them ready to do? And that they play really well versus the mistakes that they make, especially because of our schedule, the opener and the ninth SEC game. You don't have those games that, you had those opportunities before.
September is a bear. Clemson, Louisiana Tech, at Ole Miss, Texas A&M. You don't have time to get those guys ready to play. They got to be ready to go. But for the first time, he's acknowledging it. Two things can be true at the same time. You can be really pumped up about Gerald and Anderson and Lamar Brown and what their ability is, their ceilings are, what their futures are going to be. But you don't have the luxury of talking about their futures. Like, those dudes have to be ready to go now. He's telling you that. We're going to get that answer soon. We're going to get that answer game one, snap one, because those two dudes are going to be on the field. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you drink plenty of Evermore. Stay hydrated out there, y'all. It's 97 degrees right now. It's unbelievable. Air temp at 5:13 in the afternoon is 97 degrees. Stay hydrated, man. Grab plenty of delicious Evermore. It's natural artesian water. I love when y'all send me your photos. Evermore at your home, at the beach, out in the wild, wherever you are. Eat VAMOR. Available at great local retailers. Or you can buy it online. 20-ounce, 32-ounce, 64-ounce bottles. You can buy it individually, in bulk. Just make sure you support a great Louisiana product, a great Louisiana company, and do something healthier for you and your family. It's natural artesian water. Nothing added, nothing taken away. It's Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. All right, that's after further review, y'all. But I got a quick break. We do have the Saints PFF grades in from the Jacksonville game. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes. Also, maybe a few more, another tidbit or two from Lane Kiffin that we'll get to. You can always get in if you want to contact us, remember you can text us, email us. If you want to text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways to get involved in the show. Let me knock out a quick break. Former Tiger pitcher Doug Thompson will jump aboard with us, give us some details on Skip Bertman's Celebration of Life ceremony that will be held at the PMAC a week from tomorrow. It's AFR.
After further review.
REV, RevFiber.com. Big hat tip to my good friend, Tressie Linedecker from Rev. She was one of the Capitol Gala Best Dressed honorees this past weekend, which was an awesome, awesome event as always. And, of course, I always love telling you about Rev Fiber. The Mosconas, we are Rev Fiber customers at our home. As soon as Rev came and laid fiber in our neighborhood, boom, we switched. Remember, they bury the cables under the ground, so you never have to worry about a storm coming, knocking over the power lines, or a tree limb falling on the lines, knocking your cable out or your internet out. We never have to worry about that. They're buried under the ground. Lightning fast speeds up to 5 gigs. Great local service of a company that's had roots in Louisiana for 90 years, 90 years. It's Rev Fiber. REVRevFiber.com for your home or for your business. Make sure you check them out at RevFiber.com. Proud partner of LSU Athletics. RevFiber.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
All right, rolling along. Glad you're with us here on a Monday edition of AFR. Yeah, we were just smack dab steamrolling toward football. First preseason game was this past weekend. Tigers had a scrimmage in Tiger Stadium, little fall camp availability. Remember, you can always text the show in the 225 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Grant said, hey, Matt, do you worry at all about Trey'Dez Green having trouble breaking tackles or getting injured from not getting reps where he's tackled during camp? Honestly, Grant, no. Because if I'm being completely honest with you, not that I would lie, but nobody gets tackled. Even in the scrimmages, like a lot of times it's just a thud. Now, sometimes guys get tackled just by extension, right? I mean, you're in full pads, there's a running play between tackles, guys will go to the ground. But in large part, they try to avoid tackling to avoid injuries. So that's not unique to Trey'Dez. But what he's alluding to is the fact that all throughout spring and now, so far through fall camp, Trey'Dez has been a gold no-contact jersey because, as one staff member told me appropriately, we can't lose him. So it's basically just a big gold stop sign to say nobody hit 14. The thing that I have been told by many people who have gotten to watch the team drills and all that sort of stuff is that there have been too many drop passes. That concerns me more than a 6'7", 240-pound guy being able to break tackles. I mean, if Trey'Dez doesn't break a single tackle this year, I don't really care because he's just a pterodactyl. And he's going to run 20 yards downfield. They're going to throw the ball up to him, and as long as he catches it, it's going to be a 20-yard gain whether he breaks a tackle or not. So I'm mostly disinterested in that part of it. I am more concerned with the number of balls that have been hitting the ground that we get to see and the ones we don't that just kind of been told about. So, okay. Do not have Doug yet. We're supposed to have Doug Thompson joining us here. We did report last night, as it was told from the Bertman family, was wanting to get some of the news out so people could be aware about the celebration of life for Skip, who, of course, died on Friday. It will be a week from tomorrow, so it'll be Tuesday at the Maravich Center. I know they're going to have a private event for the family and former players and staff and former coaches. And then the public ceremony will start at 7, with doors opening around 6 p.m. at the PMAC. Doug was going to join us and give us a few more details and particulars. I don't know why. We were literally just texting about this. So I don't know why he's not answering. In any event, all right. It is after further review. A few other texts that were coming in. There was one more I wanted to read. Forgive me. I know I'm trying to find it. Here it was. It was from Matt, who said, Matt, I'd love to know what they're doing to get all the new players ready for the atmosphere in Death Valley at night. Sound and cadence are something that can destroy an unprepared team even at home. I mean, I understand the point. I also think that is something we as fans think way more about than players and coaches think about. So, okay. Or he's just not answering the phone? Okay. I see you on the phone. I didn't know if you were talking to him. Okay. The noise thing, I'm not dismissing the noise thing as a relevant thing. That's obviously a very real thing. So Clemson, we saw the video, Dabo, talking about it, and Clemson playing the loud music and all, got their guys ready to come to Tiger Stadium. And yes, that's a real thing. You need to be able to prepare to communicate with noise, and it's certainly at home. But I don't know that that's any different playing a home game or a road game. And like they pipe in music at practice, and they pipe in music in Tiger Stadium whenever they're scrimmaging. So I think that's something we talk a lot about, but there's only so much you can do. You play loud music at practice. You hope it conditions your guys to be able to communicate, learn to communicate when it's loud. So you have a lot of hand signals and all the nonverbal communication as well. Okay. All right, we have Doug Thompson with us now. Hey, Duggar, thanks for a couple of minutes, man. How you doing?
Of course, man. I'm doing good. All things considered, better every day. Thanks for having me, Matt.
Of course. Well, condolences, of course, on Skip. I know he meant a great deal to you and to so many people. But I said on Friday, I'm not gonna be sad. I'm gonna celebrate an incredible life lived. And now we're all gonna get to do that with a public memorial coming up a week from Tuesday. I went through just the nuts and bolts. It'll be at the PMAC on Tuesday. Anything else you can tell us, Doug?
Yeah, well, I mean, for the general public, there's, get there at 6 o'clock on the 25th. They're going to show Hold the Rope on the Jumbotrons there in the PMAC. That'll run about 50 minutes. So they invite the public to get there starting at 6 and find a seat. There's no tickets, it'll just be general admission. So, before that, there's an event also at the PMAC that'll be for former players and staff and coaches, of course, everybody that played for Skip actually, and of course coach with him. And then also the family will be there for that. And that'll be a more intimate occasion, downstairs in one of the practice courts, where some of the players will speak. And then eventually we'll all end up upstairs for the celebration that'll be open to the public, where there's obviously some great speakers will be there, including, Verge and Coach Johnson will, of course, say something. Ben McDonald will be part of that, Bill Franquez, of course. But it should be just a remarkable night, and it's something that a lot of people have been working on to build to be, a historic night, honestly, Matt. If there's ever been a reason for our great fan base, one that, by the way, Skip Bertman often acknowledged as the differentiator, and often reminded how much we love them as both LSU players and staff members. It's just suiting up to be a very special night, the way it should be, to honor a legend.
Doug Thompson is with us, former Tiger pitcher. Doug, what has been the response since Friday from? Did we lose Doug? So there you are. Sorry, I thought you dropped out, Doug. Sorry, we have you. What's been the response since Friday? Just, I would imagine there's been a tremendous outpouring of former players and coaches and teammates.
Find out.
Okay. All right, we lost Doug. Okay. Apologies for that, y'all. So sometimes technology does not want to cooperate with us. We'll get Doug back here. I think we do have Doug back now. Apologies for the connectivity issues there. So we'll get Doug back here. Just a few more minutes. Wanted to kind of get as much perspective as we can on. Okay. Sorry, Doug. We lost you there, man. I was asking if just kind of like what the response has been from former players. I mean, I would imagine that players of all decades have been reaching out since Friday.
What you would imagine. Every minute of every day, I'm kind of reminded of how much this man really affected people's lives. I mean, it's really truthfully been nonstop. Now, thank goodness, guys are starting to understand when the date's going to be, the 25th, so they can get in town and make sure that they're here. Helping with, other players and the folks at LSU. Dan Gasson and his staff have been incredible. Of course, the girls. It's been incredible to see, first of all, how many people want to help and how much they want to help. But one of the things that's most difficult, Matt, is to try to understand what to expect, right? 350, 400 former players, 500 former players. How many will show up? Of course, their families are invited. How many will they bring? Administrators, staff, faculty, people that Coach Bertman worked with and affected, coaches from around the country, his colleagues, family themselves have several hundred people. It's really, and that's just the people that we know that we can, control to expect. But goodness only knows how our fan base will show up to support this man. I mean, I don't even know that it's debatable that another person has affected our university in the way that Skip Bertman has. I think that maybe there's a discussion about the state of Louisiana in general, maybe never being quite affected by one person as much as Skip Bertman has. So, look, my favorite part about living in this state and being part of that program is the pride that people take in it. And as a former player, I can only tell you how much it would mean to me, the family. But we have a chance to show the rest of the world how we treat our legends. I just can't tell you how much it would mean to see that PMAC bust into the seams.
Yeah. It's been pretty incredible to see already just since Friday, the many different public outpourings. I mean, Doug, like basically every college baseball program in the country has done some type of tribute to Skip, which is worthy and amazing. I mean, the ripple effect of Skip's legacy throughout all of college baseball is just unmistakable. And I agree with you, man. I said on Friday, I think Skip is on the short list of the most influential sports figures. And I'm talking about athletes, but most influential sports figures in the history of the state of Louisiana. Like we can talk about Huey Long building Tiger Stadium, John McKiffin building the Superdome, and what the Superdome is all the different things, the world-class events that have been attracted to the state because of the dome. And I think Tom Benson is the reason that the NFL and the NBA are still in the state. And I think Skip Bertman is in that conversation for what he did as a coach, basically building an economy around baseball, what he did as an athletic director and administrator. Like, I think it's undeniable. I mean, I think he is in that conversation. So I agree with you. I think a week from Tuesday is going to be awesome. Is there anything else people need to know? So there's no RSVP or anything like that? It's just open to the public, come early, because if it's full.
Well, the folks at TAF, I mean, over at LSU, Emily, she has the direct line with, all the former players. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a process there in terms of trying to understand how many former players of Skip's are going to be there, how many former players, period, right? Like, This isn't necessarily just the guys that played for him. This man has affected guys that are in the major leagues right now, have incredible relationships with Skip Bertman. I'll tell you, one of the first people to call me was George Cruz, Dylan Cruz's dad. And the guy, I feel like he just wants to help, and he's down in Orlando, and he just wants to do anything in the world he can to help, because of the impact that Skip Bertman had on his life. I mean, it's just, as you said, Matt, the echo is just unending. And, one of the unusual things is I feel a little guilt every time someone calls me and says, man, I know how much you love Coach and how close you were and all this stuff, because, man, I know how much that person loved him too. And I know how much Coach loved that person, right? Like, everybody's hurting, like everyone. I mean, there's 350, 400 guys that love that man like a grandfather. And I don't think I'm exaggerating like literally there's real love and admiration. And it was proven over 30 to 40 years. I mean, that guy went to more lunches than anyone. Literally. I mean,
no doubt.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things and all the pictures and memories that are flooding back right now is when buddies send a picture of him surrounded by his former team, former players telling stories, because that was truly his heaven on earth. I have been at many, many lunches, I'm blessed to say, that started at 11, and we were there, and they were asking us if we wanted appetizers for dinner, and I wouldn't trade 1 second for not one of them with him. But I'm one of literally hundreds of guys. I'm telling you, every one of those lunches, he would stop at some point and tell us all he appreciated us being there, and brag and say, this is what no one else has. This is what no one else built with their former players. No one will ever have this again. I'm so proud to be able to still be with you guys today, right? Like, he talked about that and the pride he had in that way more than we ever talked about a national championship game or an at-bat in a national championship game. In fact, honestly, Matt, we've rarely talked about baseball. We talked about the times with each other, the impact that he had, the things that he would say, and I'm going to miss that. A lot of guys are. But I told you I didn't want to cry, and I'm not going to cry. But I just wanted to say this event should be a historic event at the PMAC and at LSU, because the people of Louisiana love this man, and he's done so much for the state, so many people as individuals, so many groups, so many former coaches are coming in to pay their respects, as everyone should. So just speaking on behalf of 300-400 former brothers that played for Skip Bertman, you want to see a bunch of grown men cry, then show up and pack that PMAC on Tuesday night, and it's going to be one special night.
We're looking forward to honoring him, Doug. Well said as always, and we'll see you on a week from Tuesday, if not before. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you, man. Talk to you soon.
Okay, that's Doug Thompson. It's after further review. Well, this sucks. We got an injury update on Saints rookie wide receiver Jordyn Tyson, and it is the exact thing that everyone feared the second they drafted him, and we'll talk about it next on AFR.
After further review.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. Big hat tip to my buddy Jareth Knockan. Golly, they've done so awesome. Love watching good people win and succeed in life, and Jareth checks those boxes. And obviously, when you're a business whose business is helping other businesses grow, it should stand to reason that your business grows. Congrats to Glow Resources on the Baton Rouge Business Report Top 100 list again this year. Top 100 private companies in Baton Rouge. I think they were up 11% year over year. It's pretty awesome. They help businesses find the right people. So if you're looking to hire, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. And yes, home base is in Baton Rouge. They got offices all over, and they help businesses quite literally all over the country. So if you need the right people, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
All right, we're going to move quickly here. We got Otter Locks coming up. Went a little long with Doug, but I'm okay doing that. Yeah, thank you. You can kill that. So this absolutely sucks. There's no way around it whatsoever. Breaking news from Nick Underhill, Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo. Saints rookie first-round draft pick Jordyn Tyson expected to miss about 2 months with that hamstring injury that he suffered during the joint practices with Jacksonville this past week. Yes, 2 months. Look, it's hard for me to be mad at Jordyn Tyson. I'm not mad at Jordyn Tyson. Like, you don't intentionally get injured, okay? It's not like he did something that caused this injury. I'm just mad at the situation. The fact that you used the 9th overall pick on Jordyn Tyson, and now, after having this amazing camp showing off all the explosive playmaking ability you thought and hoped you were getting when you drafted him 9th overall, now you're going to miss him for 2 frigging months. He will very likely start the season on IR, which will free up a roster spot. And we'll talk about in a second what that means maybe for guys down the roster. But the bottom line is, this is the fear that comes with, that we all talked about when you take someone who is injury prone. And yes, he is injury prone. Like, that is a label that is warranted. In 2022 at Colorado is when he had the severe right knee injury. The torn ACL, MCL, PCL, missed the rest of the season. And most of 2023. 2024 at Arizona State, he broke his collarbone. I get it. Football, it's a collision sport. Guys get hurt. That happens. In spring of 25, he had an ankle sprain, missed most of spring. And then during the 2025 season, he had a left hamstring injury that caused him to miss the final stretch of his final season there at Arizona State. And now this is the right hamstring injury. So the point is, like, you can't hand wave it. This is his history. He hasn't, the things I just read to you are facts. He has been an injury-prone player. I'm not telling you there's anything he could or couldn't do to prevent that. I don't know. Sometimes with massively explosive athletes like this, they're more prone to soft tissue injuries. Well, we've seen this now. You're blowing out his knee, breaking his collarbone. Sometimes that just sucks. Cam Jordan has played 15 years in the NFL, has never been hurt. Like, he had an eye thing that cost him to miss a game, which is weird. But, like, DeMario Davis missed a game because of COVID, broke his streak. Like, stupid. But, like, this is an injury-prone player. So my hope is, sincerely, he rehabs this thing, he comes back, he's awesome for the rest of the season, and has a great rookie year for whatever he's able to play, and he never gets hurt again. I just don't believe that's the case. This isn't reactionary. It's what it is. He's an injury-prone guy. Use the 9th pick on an injury-prone player. He's going to keep getting injured. I mean, prove me wrong. Hopefully time does prove me wrong. Now, this is a great opportunity for Bub Means. We spent the day kind of talking about guys that had a great preseason opener, and Bub Means was that guy. But I've been asking, like, do you have a spot for a 6th receiver? Because it's Olave and Tyson and Vele and then Brown and Lance. I mean, that's 5. You don't typically keep 6 receivers unless it's someone's going to help you on special teams, and that ain't Bub Means. Well, if Jordyn Tyson's going to miss 2 months, then he's going to start the season on IR. So if he's going to start the season on IR, that means you're going to open up a roster spot for another wide receiver. So you're looking at Olave, Vele, Brown, Lance, and then Bub Means. And all of a sudden, this receiving room, which coming into the year looked like it was going to be awesome. Olave, who had a career year last year. You're talking about Jordyn Tyson, the 9th pick of the draft. Vele, who, was big body receiver, who played well before he got injured last year. Polk is a former top 50 pick. Jalen Polk, who basically got a red shirt last year that we're all hoping was going to be really good. And then Barry and Brown and Bryce Lance and Bub Means down the line. Well, now all of a sudden, Jalen Polk's retired. Jordyn Tyson's injured. And everybody keeps moving up chairs. Bryce Lance didn't play in the preseason opener. I'm not trying to have a melt here. This just sucks. Because the huge thing that we were really excited about for year 2 with Tyler Shuck was that they were surrounding him with weapons to let him elevate. You went and got David Edwards to help fortify the offensive line. You got HN to be able to help get the running game going a little bit, take some pressure off your quarterback. And then you went and supplemented with all these receivers. And you drafted 3 of them, including Tyson with the 9th pick. And now that talent is just eroding for various reasons. So I still think they're better. Your offensive line is better. Your tackles are older. Eric McCoy's back. You brought in David Edwards. Cesar Ruiz is what he is. But you have Oscar Delp. You have Juwan Johnson. You kept Olave. You added Barry and Brown and Bryce Lance. But the difference between talking about, Barry and Brown as your 5th receiver and now talking about like Bub Means or Kevin Austin, it's a pretty dramatic change. Jordyn Tyson, out 2 months. Bah. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. I don't have a good, clever transition. I'm just going to tell you to go buy a Volkswagen at South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana, that'll make you feel better. You feel like blah? It'll turn your frown upside down? Drive a brand new Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen. There, I did it. SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. Remember, they always got great deals. Like right now, $3,500 customer bonus on 2026 Atlas. Yes, I said $3,500 customer bonus on 2026 Atlas. Drive away in yours today at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They got the best selection, which means they got the best deals, the best inventory, and the best people. It's at South Point Volkswagen. Check them out, SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, final break of the show. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Stay here. It's next.
AFR.
All right, the entries are open, y'all. It's the Get Gordon Billboard contest. Opened up today. Up to $2,000 in prizes. There is the adult division and the kids division. Remember, you can win up to $2,000 in prizes, courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And, of course, your billboard could be one of the billboards Gordon puts up around town. So it's super easy. The Gordon McKernan Billboard Design Contest. Go to getgordon.com/billboards. Getgordon.com/billboards. One more time. Getgordon.com/billboards to get all of the information. You got to submit your entry by September the 20th. So you got a little time. You got about a month to get them in. But by the way, if you use AI, you could be disqualified. So get creative, but don't use AI. And get Gordon. GetGordon.com. Get Gordon. Get it done. We're brought to you by River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com. Y'all, they had a record-breaking Q2, a record-breaking Q1. Let's go ahead and make it a record-breaking Q3 as well. And they're hiring iron workers, pipe fitters, crane operators, all at the Geismar location. You want some of the specs, you can get it. Their Facebook page or the website. You go to riverparishcontractors.com, hit the careers tab, riverparishcontractors.com, hit the careers tab. You can see everything they got. They got work on both sides of the river. What that means for you is, like, here's one, Avondale, Bro Bridge, and Plaquemine. They're hiring rig welders. Get all the info at rpcontractors.com. Call Big Jake. Get all the info at rpcontractors.com. They got work on both sides of the river. So if you're worried about traffic, don't worry about traffic. You can be home with your family every night for dinner when you work with River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Proud partner of LSU Athletics. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew?
Oh, just watching the Saints rookie draft pick, 9th overall, be out for 2 months with a friggin' hamstring. Stunner. You draft a guy with a friggin' injury history, and he's out for 2 friggin' months with a hamstring. Stunner. Way to go, Mick. Dork. Sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry I'm not sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry.
No news is good news in training camp, so every day that passes, that's a bad one, though. And that's hard to come back because you never know until you fully exert if that hamstring is fully recovered. So
a guy who missed half of last year with a hamstring injury, with the other hamstring.
Is that right? I knew he's been constantly out. Yeah. In and out.
So. He blew up his knee when he was at Colorado, but he had an ankle injury he broke his collarbone. He had an ankle injury last year. It was his left hamstring. Now this is his right hamstring.
Ask Sam Levitt how important he was to him at Arizona State.
Yeah, no doubt.
He'll tell you. I mean, he was definitely a guy we're handicapping Arizona State, whether we wanted to know whether he was in the lineup or not. Let's get to Major League Baseball. Now, I got to admit here, tough card tonight. Just some prices that I'm not comfortable, in some of the favorites. Tampa Bay was way too high, losing 3 in a row to Baltimore. They do have a pitching matchup. That game is 1-1 right now in the third inning. But Philadelphia is my best play, and rarely do I lay the runs with the home team or take the runs with the home team. But that's what we're doing here. Sanchez, third in the NL Cy Young odds right now. And even better, his home and away splits are just unbelievable at home. He gives up nothing in the top of the first. Phillies batting 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the first, and they're going against Junk for Miami. We like to fade Junk. And also, late July, Phillies were swept at Miami, so fresh on their mind. Taking Philly -1.5, -118. I'm not sure what the in-game odds is on that right now.
I just looked at it. It's Philly is it's now -$1.14 on the run line.
I would take that. The team that is chasing the team that Phillies are chasing in the NL East, the Atlanta Braves. They go on the road and take on the Minnesota Twins. Phillies just swept the Twins in Minnesota, and so Atlanta goes there. Perez is it's got some pretty good numbers, but his advanced numbers, he's been not so much, but he's been pitching out of trouble. Why not? Why stop now? We're going to take a slight line here. Minnesota is in a nosedive right now. It's more of a fade of Minnesota than a backing of Atlanta, but Atlanta's fully healthy. And so, boy, Olsen is just so good, man. Acuna's back at the top of the lineup. Short price here for the Braves on the road, minus 125. And then we had to be creative with a money line parlay and put Kansas City. And Kansas City is $1.70. They don't deserve to be $1.70 over anybody. But, man, Witt has been on fire. We talked about Caglianone. This is a team that we've been backing as of late with these two guys healthy, much more potent in their lineup. And then the Dodgers, after losing 3 of 4 at home to Milwaukee, they go on the road here. Blake Snell, this is his second start back. He was phenomenal in his first start back after the IL. Taking the Dodgers, Kansas City money line parlay plus 115. Kansas City playing Oakland, who was anyway had a nice start, but man, the last 2 months have been unbelievably bad for the Oakland A's, the Las Vegas A's, Sacramento A's, the Nomad A's,
the Athletics.
Taking Kansas City, Los Angeles Dodgers money line parlay is paying plus money at plus 115.
Phillies on the run line, Braves on the money line, and then a money line parlay with the Royals and the Dodgers. Where are you tomorrow?
We are at Dozy Place on Government Street in Mid-City.
Great spot. Good luck tonight, Otter. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
All right, it's after further review. That'll do it for us here. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Thanks to John Stinchcomb, Brooks Austin, Braxton, Paulie. Thanks. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, I remind you about our friends over at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You know, at Lee Michaels, they like to say we are in the celebration business. If you're celebrating an engagement, Lee Michaels. Maybe a promotion, Lee Michaels. A birthday, some other important milestone, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. These are things that you keep, that you cherish, that you pass down in generations of your family. You know, I love telling you about Lee Michaels because their selection is unmatched. Their customer service, the Lee Michaels experience is authentic and amazing. You'll get it the second you walk through the door. I also love how philanthropic they are. Not only do you get the best diamond, but you're contributing to the community because there's a red box at basically every charity event. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They want her to be thrilled and you to be the hero. So when you're looking for that beautiful piece of jewelry, remember Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.